Hi Taurus, this is your October 2020 tarot forecast. So guys, this is for your Taurus sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs. So if your Taurus is in Venus, I would treat this as more of a romance or love reading. Otherwise, we're looking at your emotional world, your behavior for the month, and just what could be available to you that you may not be aware of or need confirmation around. So Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, October 2020. All right, so I am going to keep these as your situation and what's crossing it. I'm going to continue shuffling just a little bit to get the rest of your Celtic cross out for you. I do feel like this is older energy here. This is something that maybe could just be creeping up on you, or just a memory or reminiscent of the past with this Five of Pentacles. Obviously over justice here. Some Leo energy being in the spotlight. Feeling down and out here, feeling rejected, a major loss, feeling as though you've been maybe even abandoned. Sense of abandonment there. Well, let's find out what's going on with the rest of the spread here, guys. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, October 2020. Messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus for October 2020. All right, guys, let me get out the rest of this for you. This up a little bit. Yeah, so there's a nice, there could have been a moment of clarity here. Something that really might have shocked you into something. Maybe something to help you realize what is worth it, what is good. You know, that's very positive, actually. Something that you might have been rejected from or removed from here. Really nice, Taurus. Look, you're finishing off with yourself. Really strong energy. I might get a qualifier for this. I'll see how the reading goes. But right off the top of my head, I'm looking here at 2 sevens. So we have some revision, some reinvestment, some editing sort of energy here. You can see this really in this T across your reading. So your recent past is definitely going to influence a hope or a fear, something that you could have been busy protecting. You may not know what's going to become of something, but I think you're solid about it regardless. Really nice to see here. We do have a little bit of Cups energy, some Wands energy, one sword, and yeah, some Pentacles here as well. So bottom of the deck energy is the 8 of Wands, right? So this is a lot of communication. This is usually very welcome communication. This is something that you're expecting, something that's very positive. It could likely have to do with work, enterprise, investments, spotlight, being on your best game. The 8 is really looking at a sense of understanding. You understand something here. So understanding how to communicate, what to communicate about. But certainly even understanding that communication about this or regarding what's going on in the month for you is extremely important here as well. I would try to keep it, like I said, you have a little bit of challenging energy here, and then the situation is crossed by a real sense of either having been left or leaving something here, like I said, around a Leo person or energy, 5th house energy. So a family man, someone who's in the spotlight, someone who is energetic, effervescent, could just be taking a toll on, could be a health issue here as well. Certainly something that was the center of your universe could be impacted. But again, just at the very beginning of the month, I don't think it's going to be a letdown. And I think that overall speaking, we're at the 8 of Wands here. We do have this overall positive interactions, positive communication here. But like I said, this is sort of spelling a point or an area of difficulty here at the very beginning of the month. I do treat anything under a 6 to be sort of low key, something, 2s to the 6s for example, would be something that is easily movable. So I would say that this 5 of Pentacles, just because it's sort of qualifying or it's crossing a major arcana here, I would say that very easily you're going to be able to rebalance yourself. You're going to be able to reposition yourself here. If something had been taken from you or removed from your life, or if you've, like I said, been rejected or rejected something, it's going to be healed really quickly. It's going to be for the best here. And chances are you can ask for help here as well and find a way out really easily. A nice healthy balance, again, possibly even including health, is quite possible here. So very small or insignificant rejection, or even a sense of abandonment, like I said, or loss, right? A sense of, it's real or perceived loss again, right? It's not like 5 of Cups, which is, you really feel it. This is real or perceived. You could even just be experiencing a loss, or being told you should be grieving, or told to do something about a sense of loss or something removed from you, but it's not even a bad thing here. It's very likely for the best, specifically because of what these 2 cards are surrounded by in the first 2 weeks here, I just see so much gorgeous energy and very positive, possibly even not only positive feelings, but a positive sense of clarity and enlightenment could be available for you here as well. And I'm going to mirror the top and bottom, the crown and the foundation, and I'll mirror the recent past and near future as well. But the foundation being the Ace of Swords is a profound clarity. This is a real aha moment. This is intellectual prowess as well. Understanding and being able to communicate this newfound understanding. This is an aha moment for you. This is also, like I said, a very big moment of clarity. And because it's mirroring the 10 of Cups, this is very likely a moment of clarity, or a situation where you can fully intellectually appreciate what true happiness feels like. The 10 of Cups speaks to absolute overflowing happiness so that you can share it with other people. You might be able to communicate this and get it back to you. You're able to communicate this now. You're able to accept that something that maybe wasn't meant to be in your life, or that was a drain, or that did make you feel like you weren't good enough, or you had to leave something behind in order to find equilibrium or balance. This is actually going to help you. Very, very much so. So really gorgeous energies, guys. I gotta say, there's this real appreciation and like I said, probably profound understanding. It's likely going to be new. I wouldn't say sudden here necessarily, but I would say a newfound appreciation or understanding, including how you communicate about what you love, how you love, and how much you love it, what love means to you, what you would do for love, that type of thing. So this is actually quite beautiful here. At your, like I said, the foundation, which is this opening of a mental energy. This is really, really brilliant, like a cerebral understanding of your emotional world, and vice versa. Your emotional world is clarified here so that you can rest peacefully in your emotional world while knowing, right? Knowing you have, it's almost like proof, because you can see something very, very clearly, very differently. This is really nice. I love seeing aces regardless, to be honest with you, but especially at the bottom, because you have this difficult energy with, crossing the situation, to have it your foundation, right? That Ace of Swords, that sense of, well, I know this is right. I know that this feeling is right. This is what it's about. So really gorgeous energies here in your recent past and in your near future. Both Wands energy, fire energy, but in your recent past, the 7 of Wands. This is just protective energy. It's a little bit defensive, but Maybe you are clear about something or understand something to a degree you hadn't before, where about your emotional world, about your emotional life, your loved ones, what you love, how you love, etc. Where you feel in a position where it is worth defending, and you have something to be proud enough of to defend. Remember here, recent past being the 7, overall energy is the 8. So you not only are defensive and protective of this, and on solid ground. Remember, this isn't a fantasy. This is solid ground. It is work and effort. But guess what? It's so positive and it's so enriching. And it's so welcome. The 8 of Wands is positive, generous communication. So, you know, and if you're experiencing that, then you should be protecting that. And you have a right to protect that. So, again, with more Wands energy here, we have 10 over here, which is a bit of a heavy burden. We'll look at that in a second. But it could just be that some of this communication could have to turn into action. I'm going to suggest here that there could be an element of we're communicating so much about something, we're trying to get something through to each other, we're trying to create excitement or something like that, where, you know, by the time you get into how you see yourself, it could feel like it's an uphill battle. It could feel like a little bit of work. And here's where I'm going to suggest, whenever I see a 10, we're looking at the end of a cycle, we want to see that ace. We want to see the Ace of Wands here to get excited, where you can be passionate, where you can, where you've regained your strength, where you have, you know, a bold new direction. So there could just be something awaiting here in how you see yourself. It could just be a little bit of an uphill battle here, and then you know what's ahead. You know that Ace of Wands, a new beginning, a new act or behavior, or even a new sense of passion, something you can physically enact here. So I'm not even reading the 10 of Wands here in the position of how you see yourself as something that's going to be negative or overwhelming. It's just, I think it's going to be part and parcel of a process of a new understanding. A new understanding, and let's add to that a very glorious sense of victory, right? Because this is definitely impacting your emotional world. I just want to look a little bit more at the Page of Wands here in your near future. Page of Wands in your near future is really looking at a new spark of interest. All pages, in my estimation anyway, are omens of good news, right? This is, typically speaking, this is going to be good news. This is going to possibly have to do with a child, yours or someone else's, perhaps even someone who's a little bit younger than you. Or this could just be younger energy, exciting energy, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy. But, you know, loyalty, new beginnings. Whenever we see pages, we see a new beginning, a new step up. So this is how I see, right? We have the 7, the 8, the Page. We have this 10 over here. So you're definitely leveling up, a new beginning. And this is part and parcel of this profound emotional well-being here as well. It's just, in terms of how you see yourself, maybe you can learn to let something go. Maybe now you can relax. There isn't so much to defend anymore. Maybe there's just something to enjoy. Wouldn't that be nice? So it is going to be, technically speaking, unexpected good news, but a new beginning with great energy, and I would even say a great sense of loyalty. Like I said, there's a lot of passion here when we're looking at our fire or Wands energy, so there is going to be somewhat passionate. And then, yeah, I'm really curious about this Taurus King of Pentacles at the very end. Something is really, could have to do with an actual asset, like a possession or ownership here as well. So we'll look at that in a second. It's also opposite to Scorpio, so it could involve a lot of sex, death, rebirth, maybe wills and estates, maybe something that has to do with something that might outlive you, a legacy as well. It is opposite here to the 10 of Cups. I know it's not the 10 of Pentacles. I know they have a little bit of a different vibe, obviously. 10 of Pentacles, you know, being the family and legacy card. But the 10 of Cups here, just opposite of, you know, Taurus second house possession energy. You know, this is, you know, very likely around something you love, okay? Love interests, love, a job, an asset, property, that type of thing. Something you can touch, something you can touch and taste and really get a lot of enjoyment out of. So let's get back into this guy here. So how others see you as someone who is maybe a little bit attached to the past, maybe a little bit sentimental, nostalgic. I do think it's a sweet energy here, particularly because it's surrounded by a lot of warmth with the Page of Fire, Wands, as I said, a lot of positive communication, this really nice clarity, full heart. So yeah, I feel like you're accessible. I think there is an indication here that you are emotionally accessible, and definitely having something to do with your childhood or a child, again, with this page. Someone who is very important to you, maybe even your own inner child or something that was important to you as a child. This could very well, also if this is a Venus and Taurus reading for you guys, this could very well be, kind of the partner or the love interest that you had always envisioned. This is extremely dear to you. Something is very, very dear to you here with how others see you. You're very approachable, very warm, and nostalgic here. Here's that sort of heavy 10 of Wands, but remember, when we're in the 9 and 10 of Wands here, it's just something that's going to feel like a lot of work, but you signed up for this, right? It's not like the 10 of Swords where it's like you didn't ask for this. The 10 of Wands is kind of like you knew what was coming, right? You knew there'd be a little bit of work. You're on solid ground. You have something to defend. You're busy talking about it. It creates a lot of excitement. So, this isn't a drain. It's just the end is in sight. So how you see yourself as someone here's where I was talking about that Ace of Wands. We want to see that, like at the end of this, we want some sort of prize, right? So I think you're going to get it. I think you really will get it if you're very, very sure and clear. Clarity is really important, especially about how you see love interest, what fulfills your heart, what gives you emotional wealth. If you're clear and obvious about that, I think it is going to add passion. It's going to add sort of a new understanding and new passion. But how you see yourself as someone who's just very hardworking. You can see this through, though. The end is in sight. You have everything that it takes here, guys. Your hopes and fears. It's the 7 of Cups. It's our second 7, as I said, with the 7 of Wands back here. Yeah, so back with more Cups energy, we're looking at your emotional world. However, the 7 of Cups is like a revision, right? It's like a reinvestment. There could be an editing stage here as well. But it could lead to confusion. I think that we're going to stay away from overthinking. We're going to stay away from overanalyzing. Maybe just get back into a positive communicative state here, because in your dreams and hopes, and the dream, hopes and fears position is literally dreams and aspirations. I think it's just wise at this point, especially under the auspices of the overall energy for the month being, the card of positive communication. Why don't you make this a point of communication this month with a loved one or with yourself under the auspices of clarity and victory here, guys? Why don't we be really open and clear about our dreams and aspirations so we can avoid confusion, right? So this is the imagination, the unconscious mind. It could even represent, your unconscious hopes and fears. Very curious, it's in your hopes and fears positions. It could just be some outdated anxiety, some outdated stuff from the past. And, there's nostalgia and sentimentality here, but there could be old habits there as well. So just beware that you're not carrying old habits or unwanted or even just something from the past because you're used to it. Don't drag that into the future, particularly if you're waiting for that new passion, that new turnaround, the end to a struggle here or some hard work. I would avoid confusion. I would look at the reality, look at what you are defending and why, and just be very open and vocal. Like I said, whoever you're communicating with is very vocal and obviously available to you as well. So it also represents an element of choices, right? You have a few things to choose from. But the cool thing about the 7 of Cups, like I said, it's revision. You get to stand back. You get to take you get to temper a decision. This isn't a rush right now. So I would even suggest maybe just here in your hopes and fears, take a little bit of time. Take a little bit of time, become clear about what it is you want, what really makes you happy, and be clear with someone else if that's the case for you, whether it's career, love, or otherwise, what it is you truly want, because this cycle is almost over here. And this is the third, almost fourth week of the month for you in October, guys. So here you're like, well, what's the next move? What is the next move to help, actualize this 10 of Cups over here, right? These are almost staring at each other. You want to actualize this. You want to create stability. I would even say long-term investment of some kind here. Like I said, they're kind of staring at each other over here. It's hard not to think this is love or romance, but it can be enterprise. It can be anything. It could be your own mental faculties, right? It could just be whatever's going on in the month for you. It's a general reading, but here with the outcome or the advice card being your energy, guys, second house energy, this is possessions, this is longevity, this is slow, stable, dependable, reliable, mature, assets, income, banking, property, wills and estates. Like I suggest this because Taurus is opposite Scorpio, as you know, and of course Scorpio is sex, death, and rebirth. And it is, of course, shared estates and shared assets. So, something very, something that's going to outlive you. This is long term. That is, like I said, on its own, it's just long-term, slow-moving energy that's profoundly stable. You're pairing this with your crowning with your outcome being the 10 of Cups. This is profound, longevity, stable emotions, stable emotional world. Really gorgeous here. So lots of nice energy. I did want to qualify King of Pentacles. So we have some gorgeous energy here, guys. We have a really nice celebration. A really nice celebration. Someone is really excited here. There's a lot of profound, deep moving, slow moving, stable. Guys, I would even say here, if this is a business offer, if this is a business project, or you're working, whether you're a man or woman watching, if you're working with a woman who has some fire in her chart, or very fiery, maybe outgoing, spotlight loving, independent, but family oriented, etc. I would say if this is the person or energy that this is speaking to, that long-term investment possessions type thing here, this is going to be extremely successful. There's going to be a major celebration and possibly even, celebration, rewards, what's it called? Like a reunion, a really big celebration with friends here around this long-term, very, very stable situation. It's just beautiful. Very, very beautiful reading, guys. I am noticing that this month holds a few challenges for most of the signs as well, Taurus. So this is just going to be, I think this is important to get out of the way, to be honest with you. I think that 5 of Pentacles is good to get out of the way because it's good to recognize what has been holding you back here. That 5 of Pentacles is showing up because it's telling you, wow, that is real or perceived. It's kind of what you make of it. It's like a broken leg. Like it super sucks, right? But maybe it slows you down a little bit. Maybe it forces you to ask for help. Maybe you have more time to do something you've been putting off. So something that might look terrible on the surface or at face value may not be as terrible as you think it is. It might actually be quite illuminating and quite enlightening. And it might even help force you, even though you were unaware, subconsciously or otherwise, that you needed to make a decision around this, that you needed to say, what is my next move for my happiness? What is it, my next move? So we do have your oracles here. We have freedom. You are free from something that's been, wow, is that 24 minutes? Holy smokes, guys, these got long, sorry. So freedom, yeah, I do see you setting yourself free here. Generally speaking here, through communication, just expect and indulge in positive communication here. You're really aware of your heart space. So I think if you communicate that openly, it will develop and enhance a sense of freedom. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Absolutely. Love yourself first. You know, sometimes seeking love or expecting love, this could even be part of it here. Someone didn't measure up. You didn't measure up for them. This is a tiny letdown, but it's so minuscule. And it's just, communicating is going to solve the problem. It really is. Because remember, the Five of Pentacles, they're outside the church and they're at the steps. All they have to do is knock on the door. So there's this element of just ask. Just ask, because Sun is here. Justice card is Leo, okay? And Leo is ruled by the Sun, and it's 5th house. So it's family, it's creativity, it's sex, it's romance. So it's so positive, and it's life-giving, and it's not the Sun card, I get it, because that would just be pure success. But Justice is reminding you that you do deserve positive things. You do deserve happiness. You are allowed to love yourself, and it's important to do that. And you don't need to be ashamed to do that, and you're not asking too much when you want other people to do that. We have Dragonfly. We do have Illusion here. Illusion has come up now a couple of times. I don't know, the Moon. If I had the Moon here in the same reading, there would be like intense confusion. Maybe you would have to ask for professional help. I think when we're looking at illusions and dreams and doubts, hopes and aspirations here, it's just about making the right move. I think you could just be a little bit not so much confused as you are just being sort of prepared and interested, right? Prepared and interested in making long-term plans and commitments and just wanting to make the right one. So you have some room here to do that. You're not in a rush. Take your time there. But again, keep communicating really clearly with this other person about what it is you need and what brings you the most peace. And then chop wood. This is reminding us that the work needs to begin now. We just tackle a little bit at a time. You don't need to do it all in one day. When you're cleaning a house, you don't clean it all the same minute. Just pick a room and start there. So I think this is what maybe this is speaking to as well. You do have some options. You do have some things available to you. Your heart space world is really quite full. You could even be confused by your heart space world. It could feel that new to you, or it could even feel like, tricky somehow. Like you're supposed to do this, but you might do it wrong. You might do that. Maybe don't worry about that so much. Maybe the next move is just going to be just right for you. But the point being is you just go do that. You go do that step, and then you do the next step and the next step. So really overall, really good reading for you guys. Try to stay out of your heads when it comes to overthinking. Be clear about what it is you want, and make sure you communicate that with loved ones. And, you can be sentimental. You can feel like someone really gets you and you feel treasured, and you're definitely treasuring someone here as well. So Taurus, that is your reading. Thank you so much for joining me. That went super long, so I hope you liked it anyway. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video for your sign, guys. Bye for now.